Good afternoon. My name is Brad Carr, and I'm the Executive Principal of South-Doyle High School. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and student body, I would like to welcome all of our parents, grandparents, family members, and friends to the commencement exercise for the 34th graduating class of South-Doyle High School. Before we begin our ceremony, round of applause is in order. Go ahead. Our 34th graduating class, everyone. Before we begin our ceremony, I would like to recognize several very important guests who are joining us today and have helped make this occasion possible. First, our Superintendent of Knox County Schools, Dr. John Riswick. Knox County Schools Region 3 Director, Megan Odell. Knox County Schools Region 3 Supervisor, Tommy Watson. School Board Representative Christy Christie. Representative from Knox County Mayor Glenn Jacobs' office, Rhonda Smithson. State Senator Becky Duncan Massey. State Representative Elaine Davis. State Representative Dave Wright. Knox County Commissioner Kim Frazier. Knox County Commissioner Larson J. South-Doyle High School Administrative Team, Cameron Mulchan, Denise Magaha, Eric Turner, Katie Reeser, Marquise Dotson, Sarah Beth Crabtree, and Daryl Chandler, who is standing in Murfreesboro, waiting for us to join him live in a few minutes. I would also like to recognize one more special guest we have with us here, the next Executive Principal of South-Doyle High School, Mr. Rocky Riley. I would like to thank everyone here today for their support of this group, of the students, of the work contributed from everyone to make this ceremony happen. We've had quite the week getting this fair in order, and we appreciate you working with us and making this possible today. I'm thankful, as always, to be able to stand in Billy K. Nicely Stadium on Clark Duncan Field and be able to hold this special event today here at South-Doyle High School. At this time, I would like to present the individuals who work tirelessly to ensure every kid at South-Doyle is loved, supported, and taught well every day. This group has been the driving force behind preparing our seniors for this day. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and show your appreciation for the South-Doyle High School faculty and staff. Presenting our colors is the South-Doyle High School Army JROTC Color Guard. Gentlemen, please remove your caps, and everyone please remain standing as the South-Doyle High School Chorus sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets' red bells bursting in air gave proof in the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sing us that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of our faith.
Thank you. You may be seated. This year's senior class has worked very hard to prepare for their journey beyond high school. Many of these students will pursue post-secondary training, either in the college or university setting, technical school, the military, or through on-the-job training in their selected field. I would like to recognize several groups of students at this time. Because some of these groups are large, we will ask those students to stand as a group at their seat and be recognized. Will the 34 members of National Honor Society please stand? Thank you. If you are one of the 31 recipients of the Honors Diploma, please stand and be recognized. If you are one of the 45 candidates for a Diploma of Distinction, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. If you are one of the 11 TriStar Scholars, please stand to be recognized. Industry certifications are an important part of our career in technical education, and the 865 Academy model adopted across Knox County schools, and there were a number of certifications earned by this graduating class. If you have earned one or more certifications, please stand and be recognized. South-Doyle High School always has a number of students that achieve at a high level on the ACT. Many have spent countless hours in ACT Academy and or ACT prep courses to better themselves, while others have engaged in other endeavors to go above and beyond to attain the highest possible ACT score. There are two specific groups of students we will recognize this evening as far as the ACT is concerned. The first are all of those that scored a composite 21 or better on the ACT. If that is you, please stand. Thank you. These students are eligible for the Hope and Promise scholarships. The second group scored at an elite level, scoring a 30 or better on the ACT. Will all members of the 30-plus club please stand to be recognized? Thank you. South-Doyle High School also has a rich tradition of military service throughout its history, and our Army JROTC program is one of the finest in East Tennessee. At this time, I would like to ask all seniors who have made the decision to serve our country through military service and or are entering a college ROTC program to stand. We want to tell you that we appreciate you going forward to represent this community and defend our great nation. As we transition to the next portion of the program and begin to focus more on our student speeches, I would like to note that we will be adjusting the order of the program a little bit to incorporate a live feed to our senior soccer players in a few minutes who are participating virtually with Coach Chandler and their parents at Northside Church in Murfreesboro. We have shared a link that everyone can use during that portion of the ceremony to watch as they are presented with their diplomas. When we reach that time, we will prompt everyone who would like to join the feed to log in. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce and bring to the podium our senior class president, Ms. Espy Buendia, to welcome our graduates.
Good afternoon, everyone. Family, friends, teachers, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2025. For those who don't know me, my name is Espy Buendia. I am the class of 2025's class president, and I have had the joy of watching all of us develop into young adults firsthand. Before we begin, I ask that we take a moment of silence to honor and remember those who are not here with us today. Those who have touched our lives, walked the halls with us, and shared in our journey, but who for reasons beyond our control could not stand beside us in this moment of celebration. Thank you. Before I start, I would like to personally thank and acknowledge the endless support I received and continue receiving from my teachers, friends, co-workers, and former coaches who believed in me even when I didn't. Mom, Dad, thank you for loving me in ways beyond words and for all the sacrifices you've made that continue to pave the way for a better life. I also like to thank everyone who has continued to support the class of 2025, parents, grandparents, guardians, teachers, and friends. Nonetheless, as we stand on this milestone between the past and the future, I don't think any of this could have been possible without the guidance of the Lord, whom I thank for walking with us through every joy and struggle. I thank Him for His grace to grow and for the grace of this moment. Now, graduation is a time of looking forward with excitement, but also a time of reflection. As we sit here in our caps and gowns, it's easy to think, of everything we worked so hard for and the dreams of all the things yet to come. But in the rush towards the future, we sometimes forget how precious right now is. Dr. Seuss once said, "Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory." And today, this exact moment is one we'll look back on years from now and realize just how much it meant. The laughter in the hallways, sitting in Miss Walker's room debriefing about our day, the Friday night games, the performances, the inside jokes, these are more than just memories. They are the foundation of who we've become. Each of us carries a story, and today, all of those stories intersect in this celebration. But tomorrow, we set out on different paths, some of us to college, some to careers, some still figuring it all out. And that's okay, because what we've shared here has prepared us to not just face the world, but to shape it. I look out at this class and I see future leaders, artists, doctors, teachers, entrepreneurs, change makers. I see people who will lift others up, challenge the status quo, and make a difference. And I believe in this with all my heart, not just because of what we've already done, but because of who we are. We've learned that life can be uncertain, that loss can come unexpectedly, that time passes faster than we'd like, but we've also learned that we are strong, that we are capable, that we can find joy in small things and meaning in every step we take. So today, as we close this chapter, Let's not rush into the next. Let's take in the smiles of those around us. Let's say thank you to the people who helped us get here. Let's hold on to this moment, because someday, when we're looking back, we'll understand just how much it meant. To the class of 2025, I'd like to say, live boldly, love deeply, and never stop growing. Remember, nothing hates you, and love is everywhere. I'd like to remind you all that if we wait till we're ready, we'll be waiting forever. That this is not the end, this is our beginning. And I can't wait to see the incredible things you all will do. Congratulations, thank you, and as always, go Keys! I will now welcome the South-Doyle High School singers for our special music.
May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God put you in the palm of His hand. May the sun make your days bright. May the stars illuminate your nights. May the flowers bloom along your path. Your love stand firm against the storm. And until we meet again, may God put you in the palm of His hand. And until we meet again, may God put you in the palm of His hand.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Denise Magaha, and I am privileged to introduce the top 10 from the class of 2025. Students, when I call your name, please stand. In a three-way tie for 8th with a GPA of 4.464 are Ethan Askey, Jacob DeWar, and Jalen Teeters. In 7th place, with a GPA of 4.482, is Morgan Browning. In a three-way tie for 4th, with a GPA of 4.518, are Molly Hall, Landon Walker, and Taylor Wilson. This year's salutatorian, whom you will meet in just a moment with a GPA of 4.571, is Matthew Phelps. and this year's co-valedictorians, whom we will join virtually in a few moments with a GPA of 4.589, are Jonah Mitchell and Turner Williams. So now it is my honor to introduce a remarkable student who embodies the spirit of dedication, leadership, and heart, our 2025 salutatorian, Matthew Phelps. Throughout his time at South-Doyle High School, Matthew has shown what it means to balance academic excellence with genuine community impact. As a committed member and an officer of the National Honor Society and an active participant in the robotics team, the bowling team, and singers, he has contributed to our school in many countless ways, on the stage, on the lanes, and in the lab. But Matthew's influence extends far beyond the classroom. As a devoted member of Mount Olive Baptist Church, a youth worship leader, and a constant presence in the community outreach, he has lived his values out loud, serving others with grace and purpose. One of his favorite high school memories is traveling to Washington, D.C. with the singers, a fitting highlight for someone who has spent the last year and a half lifting his voice both literally and figuratively. This fall, Matthew will continue his academic journey to Pellissippi State Community College with plans to transfer to the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, to pursue a degree in mechanical engineering. There is no doubt that he will bring the same determination and heart to college that he brought to every endeavor as a proud Cherokee. And so it is with immense pride that I ask everyone to join me in welcoming to the stage the class of 2025 salutatorian, Mr. Matthew Phelps.
Good afternoon, class of 2025. I'd like to congratulate all of you for making it here today. I'd like to thank our faculty and administration for making this event happen today. Thank you to all of our principals, counselors, and teachers who have supported the class of 2025 through our years at South-Doyle. I'd like to personally thank my parents, my brother, sister, my girlfriend Miriam, and all other friends and family who've supported me and gotten me here today. And I'd like to make one last special thank you to our very own prom king, John Lett, for never leaving a dull moment for the class of 2025. And sorry to all of you who didn't get a shout out, but John told me he would give me $20 if I did that. So you're welcome, John. But for many of us here today, for all of us, we're about to enter a new stage of life. All of us students are about to graduate from high school and move on to college or the workforce or whatever else is in store for us. For our parents watching us, it could be your first child graduating high school or it could be your last leaving. And for all of us here, we're just experiencing some sort of change. And it's easy for us to worry about what the future holds and what might happen. But I'd like to encourage all of you to trust in the Lord today, for He holds the future and He has a plan for every single one of us here. While worry is common among every person during some stage in our life, it only pulls us away from God and prevents us from seeing His plans. However, when worry and anxiety do come, it's best to bring them to the Lord, for He comforts our worry. And as the psalmist of Psalm 136 writes, His steadfast love endures forever. Life isn't always going to go our way, and it often never will. But when things get hard and the unexpected happens, we are called not to stress about the future, but to hold fast to God and trust in His ways. The Bible tells us many examples of God's people holding fast to God the Bible tells us many examples of God's people enduring immense suffering and trusting in the Lord. In the book of Job, God allows Job to be tested. He's stripped of his riches, comforts, family, and even his own health. Everyone around him tells him to curse God for letting these things happen to him, but he remains faithful and he prays to the Lord. He's rewarded for his trust. In In 2 Samuel chapter 12, David loses his newborn child and displays the reaction we should have. When David hears the news, he cleans himself up and goes to worship the Lord. These men's faith was tested. They didn't know why these things were happening to them, but through it all they still trusted in the Lord, and we should follow suit in the same way. As we continue with our lives past high school, things aren't always going to go according to plan, and they often won't at all. There's going to be moments of worry and stress, and we won't know what's going to happen in the future. But today I challenge you, when things get hard, to trust in God and go to Him in times of struggle. Don't rely on yourself, but lean fully on God and let Him lead you. We've been given the great examples of David, Job, and many others like him, who were called to do the same as them. For the Lord's steadfast love endures forever. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Today I have the honor and privilege of presenting the Dreamcatcher Award. The Dreamcatcher Award is given to graduating students who have overcome great adversity during their time at South-Doyle High School. The students who receive this award are those who have prevailed and proven to all that they are well equipped to accomplish great things in the future. All of us here at South-Doyle are excited to see what this student's future has in store. As a freshman and sophomore, this student could sometimes be seen in the hallways taking extended bathroom breaks or making TikTok videos, but something lit a spark in this student by the end of her sophomore year. And by the end of her senior year here today, this student has exceeded the requirements for graduation and has improved her GPA by more than a full point over the course of her tenure here at South-Doyle High School. Here's what some of this Dreamcatcher's teachers said about her during her time at South-Doyle. In addition to recognizing the student's academic growth over the years, Ms. Fisher remembers her as one of the kindest students she has taught. She is friendly and always greets you with a big smile on her face. Ms. Roy says this student is a bright light to all those around her and continues, "I'm so proud of the work she has done for her future. Every time I see her, she is beaming with excitement about her post-secondary plans. She is diligent, motivated, and most importantly, kind. I look forward to seeing the positive impact this student will surely leave on all those who are so lucky to cross her path as she advances in life." Ms. Whaley describes this student as a light and goes on to say that she is kind, smart, outgoing, and determined to make a difference in the world. She is a role model for others and will do great things in the future. She wants to run a business and be a mentor to others like herself. She is an advocate, for herself and those around her. Ms. Dixon points out just how much this student has changed during her 4 years with us, describing how much she has grown since her freshman year. She at times would have an issue with adults questioning her, but now she has positive, pleasant conversations with adults. It has been great to see her mature into the young lady she has become. Finally, when I asked the student's mother what she credits as having fueled her daughter's transformation, she told me that her daughter simply learned how to get up in the morning and go to school. The more I thought about this, the more profound it became. If there is one thing we all should take from witnessing this student's accomplishments, it may be just that. The key to catching one's dreams isn't necessarily the big achievements, the graduations, the weddings, the awards. The key to catching one's dream, as this student has demonstrated over the last 4 years, is getting up every day and making an effort to be a bit better than we were the day before, and to keep on getting up day after day until all of our small, seemingly less significant successes turn into the big achievements like the ones we're celebrating here today. Diligence, kindness, determination, maturity, presence, and light. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to introduce the class of 2025 recipient of the Dreamcatcher Award, Diana Booker. Sorry. At this time, everyone please look at the QR code that was handed out with the programs as you entered the stadium to log in to our live feed with Senior Cherokees at Northside Church in Murfreesboro. I will give everyone a minute to do that. You may also share the QR code if you happen to not have one in your program. We will be presenting the Cherokee Award, listening to our co-valedictorian speeches, and presenting these young men with their diplomas during this segment. Ms. Reeser will be delivering the address for the Cherokee Award.
Good evening, class of 2025, family, friends, and distinguished guests. Today marks an end to our hard work and dedication throughout our 4 years of high school. But with every end, there is a new beginning. Whether it may be college, serving our nation in the military, or going straight into the workforce, I am excited for all these endeavors. As we walk the stage today, let's remember the milestone we're accomplishing would have been impossible without the help, guidance, and wisdom from our family, faculty, staff, tutors, friends, and especially the smart person sitting next to us in math class helping us out when we want to ask the question. Above all else, though, today would have been impossible without God. Without Him, I am not sure where I'd be today. I'm grateful for the opportunities we have been given in high school, but as we step into times of uncertainty, I am certain we serve a God who will still be there. I am certain he has made a way for all of us to know him and know that he has died the death that we deserve, rose from the dead, and defeated sin, hell, and the grave. At many times, I know I felt unworthy, unloved, or abandoned, but I hope that we may see that God is there all along. We may be like David, King David, run from his presence and run from his love, but I hope that we can cling to words of King David in Psalm 139, where he lets us know where God is all along. In Psalm 139, David writes, "O Lord, you have searched me and know me. You know when I sit down, you know when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from afar. You search out my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. You hem me in, and you lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain it. Where shall I go from your spirit? Or where shall I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and the light about me be night, even the darkness is not too dark for you. The night is as bright as the day, for the darkness is as light with you. For you formed me in my inward parts, and you knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are the works, my soul knows it very well." I pray that we know that God has fearfully and wonderfully made each of us to do incredible things to glorify him and his kingdom. I pray that we know him and know him well enough to go out and do those works in his name and for his glory, class of 2025. Just as David said, there is nowhere that we may go to outrun or hide from the Lord. There's nowhere that we can go that the Lord is not. I know that God loves and cares for each one of us more than you could ever imagine. The biggest piece of advice that I could give the class of 2025 and everyone here at graduation tonight is to cling to the faith in Christ and the Word of God in everything that you do. I know ever since I moved from South-Doyle when I was in 7th grade, I was given a fresh start and a chance to become a new person. And it has been a joy getting to know each and every one of you, everyone that I've met through, whether it's been in the classrooms, in school, through sports like the soccer team where I'm unfortunately having to be at tonight, but I'm glad that we have a chance to go back and compete for another state championship, and it just in life in general with you guys. I'm proud of who we are now and who we are becoming. As I close today, I wanted to bless the class of 2025 with a blessing from Numbers chapter 6. Numbers chapter 6, 24 through 26 says, "The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his conscience upon you and give you peace." Amen. Go Keys.
throughout this speech has encouraged us all to be creative and authentic, but artificial intelligence as a whole is making our world exponentially less creative and more algorithmic. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against AI, but I think it, because I don't think that it produces a good final product. In fact, many of you might leave here tonight and enjoy this part of my speech written by AI more than the part written with my original thought. And that's fine. Artificial intelligence is excellent at what it does, and I can confidently say that it's a better speechwriter than me. And it's probably better at algebra than you, or better at writing English essays than you, or knows more about U.S. history than you could learn your whole lifetime. And that's almost the problem. I can't count how many times I've seen someone type a prompt in ChatGPT, or copy and paste an assignment's question into Google, and wait for its almost instantaneous summarized response from its AI overview. AI is a brilliant invention, and its presence in our everyday lives only increases every single day. But now, as we graduate and fully step out into the world, whether that's straight to the workforce, or into college, or wherever else, we collectively must draw a line in the sand. AI is a beautiful tool when used to help with convenience, but it becomes a danger to us all when we allow it to do our assignments or our research because it robs us of our creativity. And you might be sitting in your chair, looking at your watch, checking the time, or scrolling your phone and thinking, it's not that deep, bro. But if we let AI do the work for us, we don't allow ourselves to make mistakes, or put forth our own thoughts, or put forth any valuable effort. And AI is most often responsibly used, since most people do use it as an aid and for convenience. But whenever it's not used that way, I think at the core of this problem we can find two causes. It's almost always either because of laziness or the fear of failure. Whenever we use AI, in order to differentiate whether we're using it for convenience or laziness, we need to ask ourselves this question. Am I using this in order to help me, or because I want AI to do this for me? As long as the honest answer is to aid and not to answer for us, then we set a good boundary for ourselves. But what about when we realize we're being lazy and we still just want to take the easy way out? Our laziness can be conquered through willpower and realizing that it is our responsibility to take action for our own success. The only way we will succeed in life is through doing things ourselves, not allowing a computer program to do it for us. Because we all have access to AI. You can make a ChatGPT account at this very moment and immediately start asking questions. But you'll never stand out in this world if you allow AI to do things for you, because everyone can do that. The thing that will set you and I apart in this world is whether we do things authentically to the best of our own capabilities, with a creativity and individuality that even an advanced computer program cannot recreate. But the other cause for overuse of AI is a much deeper, more sensitive subject: failure. I'm not going to stand up here and act like a therapist or act like I've never been afraid of failing a test before. I am a perfectionist, so often the thought of failure can be frightening to me. But I think that in this day and age, we need to reframe what we classify as failure. Failure is not about trying and not doing well. To fail is to not try on your own at all. The inventor of the telephone, Alexander Graham Bell, who failed thousands of times before he ever had a working telephone prototype, once said, "The only difference between success and failure is the ability to take action." Those words have never been truer in today's day and age of AI. We do an injustice to ourselves whenever we let AI do things for us. Of course, AI gets things done quickly and done well, but how will we grow if we never take risks and we never try things we never thought we were capable of? We may not succeed at first, but ultimately, not succeeding is still not failure. Never trying anything outside of your comfort zone or only doing what you already know you're capable of is failure. It's selling yourself short, and you don't allow yourself to flourish into the person you're meant to be. There's a saying along the lines of, what scares you is often what will help you grow. If we avoid what scares us and we push difficult things onto an artificial source, we will never reach our full potential. So as I now actually do prepare to close, I want to reemphasize that I'm not against the use of AI. Artificial intelligence not only is an incredible aid and tool for convenience, it can also make life easier. But as AI becomes more and more commonplace in our society, we run the risk of it taking over our lives. The illustration I can draw to this is a movie almost all of us watched when we were young, the movie WALL-E. And if you've never seen this movie, I do recommend you watch it soon. But in WALL-E, the residents of the Axiom, the luxury cruise ship that all of Earth's former residents live on, have had their lives so incredibly infiltrated with technology that none of them have ever had to do anything for themselves or do anything vaguely worthwhile. They become side characters in their own lives, but they don't realize it because they're fine living their life of ease. And I fear that as AI becomes continuously more capable, if we don't realize this and set responsible boundaries, then AI will take away our own capabilities. So as our paths all begin to diverge and our adult lives begin, if you remember nothing else from my speech, I hope you'll remember this. In a world that's becoming increasingly more controlled by algorithms and artificial intelligence, we all must strive to be authentic, take risks, and continue to add creativity to the world, because that's something the world will always need. It's been a privilege to celebrate with you all today. Thank you.
Everyone, please remain logged in with our live feed as we present our 2025 senior boys soccer players with their diplomas. Brody Taylor Bean. William Sebastian Carroll. Raul Garcia. Jonah Drew Mitchell. Landon Keith Walker. Turner Jacob Williams. And Taylor Thomas Wilson. We're waiting on the delay. They're stepping on stage to accept their diplomas now.
These guys finish up, and they are almost done walking across the stage. I don't want to tell on anybody on the stage, but one of these folks up here asked if it was so delayed because they're an hour behind. Just saying. All right. Terrible, terrible. Bad joke. Bad joke. This time, if everyone wants to log off the live feed, we are back live here in South Knoxville, and we will begin the presentation of diplomas for the folks sitting on stage or on the field. Ushers, please take your positions. I will now ask to be joined on stage by our superintendent, Dr. John Roswick, our special guests, and the South-Doyle High School administration team. Mr. Mulchan will read our names momentarily.
We should be. If the front row will stand and line up by the stage, we'll get started. Miss Faith AA Adams. Justice Ray Allen. Tyler David Ansel.
Congratulations, buddy.
Ethan David Askey. Ronna Jade Baker. Abby Lynn Ballou. Tamar Sean Banks. Landon Malachi Bates. Madeline Rail Baker. Giovanni Cruz Beadle. Talisha Rose Bingham. And Bryce Ray Black. Jaime Blanco. Dayana Marissa Booker. Aiden Shane Boland. Nicholas Alexander Bradburn. Janessa Christine Brewer, excuse me. Morgan Elaine Browning. S.P. Buendia. Memphis Riley Burt. Sajali Cadet. Aurelia Marie Cathy. Cheyenne Alice Rose Sedillo. Isaiah Blake Chesser. James Michael Christopher. Lavea Tashay Clark. Chloe Beth Claxton. Cameron Alexander Kogar. Bailey K. Conkin. Sammy Catherine Marie Cooper. Mariah Neve Kozart. Megan Elizabeth Cutting. Daraja Sierra Davis. Treasure Lear Davis. Alyssa Brooke Decro. Jacob Douglas Dewar. Sarah Devine. Justin Griffin Dowell. Raven Star Dunn. London Ryan Dyer. Preston Edward Ray Earls. James Ethan Edelman. Jasmine Elliott. Riley James Evitt. Silas Rion Foster. Hunter Wayne Gallion. Roger Omar Garcia Estrada. Alexis Marie Gallion. Kalia Murray Garrett. Kyrique Marcine George. Slade Mark Emerson Gillespie. Rebecca Naomi Gillum. Austin Caden Gunner. Elijah Kalian Garcia. Brianne Alicia Green. Matthew David Green. Ryan Bradley Gregory. Jayla Faye Paris. Connor Isaac Lee Henry. I'm sorry, that's Hensley. I apologize. Dorley Gabriela Hernandez Vasquez. Alicia Jasmine Hernandez Ray. Levi Benjamin Herman. Quentin Christopher Martin Hill. Christian Javon Houston. Javon, I apologize, Javon. Tashara Nashay Howell. Aubrey Lachey Marie Hubbs. Molly Elizabeth Hull. David Dean Humphrey. Lucas Ross Hurst. Emma Riley Hutchison. Seth Richard Ingo. Kelly Ann Isom. Drew Patrick Jackson. Marquise Laquan Jackson. Trisha Leanne Jarvis. Abigail Grace Johnson. Carlia Shanae Johnson. Trey Lucas Johnson. Gabriel Kenneth Jones. Lucas Isaiah Jones. Sydney Margaret May Jones. Annika Nicole Kallstrom. Abigail Grace Keene. Trace Matthew Keene. Emma Nicole Kesterson. Darius Alexander King. Jasmine Marissa Kirkland. Jaden Christopher Lake. Mariah Chanel Larch. Ashlyn Mackenzie Lawson. Sydney Talia Longhorn. Hero Bella Lawson. Jameson Kevin LeBlanc. John Michael Lett. Jediah Juan Lopez May. Dawson Travis Lowe. Holden Garrett Lowe. Miller Douglas Levinsky. Kane Alexander Lynn Ledison. Jonathan Patrick Mandato. Alfredo Martinez Jr. Bladen Isaiah Matthews. D'Angelo Jamar Mattress Jr. Margaret Ann Mayfield. Addison Grace McCarroll. Catherine Grace McLaughlin. Elin Elizabeth Miller. Lonique Kiera Minor. Jacob Andrew Mitchell. Brian Daniel Moore Jr. Lionel Polinayo. Michael Isaiah Nichols. Braden J. Snow. Brooke Elizabeth Oglesby. Karina Beth Overbay. Claire Elizabeth Overdorf. Malaya Sonia Pelcher. Matthew Samuel Phelps. Destiny Dawn Plowman, Arlo Quinn Chambers Powell, Sebastian James Pratt, Mackenzie Braylon Presley, Landon Elias Routon, Elia Paris Reeves, Eric Eden Reyes Marquez, Bailey K. Rigsby, Madai Sarai Rivas Villanueva, Camilla Janice Roberts, Noah Oren Roberts, Michael Emmanuel Jaden Rogers, Clinton May Rogers, Marcus Severiano, Emma K. Shinlever, Dane Anthony Sipper, Gabriel Anthony Smith, Anna Grace Snodderly, Connor James Solomon, Skylar Lee Spurgeon, Gracie Danae Strader, Zariah Ann Sidon, Kaylee Allen Sutton, Alexander Eugene Tallman, Tai Yoshio Tanaka, Ethan Xavier Tarwater, Jaden Paul Teeters, Jalen Matthew Teeters, Jordan Jason Paxton, Kaylee Grace Thomas, Reagan Monet Thomas, Nathan Tashon Thompson, Caitlin Diane Throckmorton, Hunter Blake Tipton, Sadia Tuckman, Tessa Nadia Turner, Hugo Ernesto Joaquin Higueros, Albert Monty Venable, Chloe Jaden Wade, Joseph Lee Washam II, Riley Jane Waters, Xander Cruz Wilkerson, Mason Trevor Wilson, Jeremiah Franklin Worley, Keegan Robert Wright, and last but never least, Hannah Denise Zup. Give it up for the class of 25.
Graduates, before I confirm your diplomas, and we are almost done, I have two thoughts I'd like to share with you real quick. First thought I'll offer considers the fact that for some time up to your life today, you've been asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And that's normal, and I'm not knocking the question. The question does imply, though, that what do you want to do for work is what everybody means. I would like for you to take a second and ponder the question, who do you want to be when you grow up? Will I live to work or work for a living? Will I choose to be optimistic, pessimistic, think of others before myself, be honest, own my mistakes, approach others with compassion when they've made mistakes or wronged me? Will I lead others to do what's right? All these questions and many more are worth considering and answering. And most of you will hold several different work titles over the course of our lives, whether over your lives, whether that means different careers, different jobs within the same career, or a number of other things. In today's society, that's just normal. But I want to challenge us all today to consider how we might consistently remain who we want to be in the midst of those changes. And the second and final thought I have is simple, and it won't surprise you. As you consider what you want to be, remember the ABCs of South-Doyle High School. Attend and show up every day. Behave in a way that represents yourself, your family, and your community positively. And recognize that you're not leaving the classroom when you walk out here today. Instead, you're entering a different classroom away from what you've known to this point, and I want you to continue learning. With that being said, at this time, I ask that all members of the class of 2025 please stand. Face forward, listen carefully as we confirm your diplomas. Dr. Roswick, I hereby certify that these students have met all the state and local educational requirements set forth by the Tennessee Department of Education and the Knox County School Board. May I have your blessing to confirm their transition at this time? Thank you. Students, please move your tassels from right to left to signify your accomplishment and continue to listen. By the authority vested in me by the great state of Tennessee, the Knox County Board of Education, and the Superintendent of Schools, I hereby declare that you have completed your education at South-Doyle High School with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. May God bless each of you in all that you do. Please come back to campus often and visit us. And parents, grandparents, family, friends, and honored guests, I present to you the class of 2025. Ushers, please take your place.
Good evening, everyone, family, friends, faculty, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2025. Today is one of those rare moments in life when we all stop, take a breath, and look back at how far we've come. It feels like just yesterday we were getting lost in the hallways and nervously asking, is this seat taken? And yet, here we are, caps on, tassels ready, and hearts full. High school has been more than a series of classes or a collection of grades. It's been a journey of growth, challenges, friendships, and memories. Some we'll laugh about for years, and others we may prefer to forget. We've experienced the thrill of Friday night football games, the nerves before big exams, the awkwardness of group projects, and the quiet pride of finishing something hard. We've learned a lot, not just about algebra or the structure of a cell, but about life. We've learned how to bounce back after failure, how to stand up for ourselves and others, and how to keep going when things got tough. We've learned that sometimes success doesn't come with an A, but with effort, kindness, and showing up day after day. To our teachers, you've been more than instructors. You've been mentors, motivators, and sometimes even therapists. Thank you for pushing us, for believing in us, even when we didn't believe in ourselves, and for being patient as we figured things out. To our families, thank you for your support, your sacrifices, and your unconditional love. Whether it was staying up late to help with a project, or simply being there to listen after a hard day, you've been our foundation. And to my fellow graduates, we did it. But this isn't just the end of high school. It's the beginning of something even better. Some of us will head off to college, or others to work, the military, a gap year, or somewhere in between. Whatever your path looks like, remember this: you are more capable than you know. The world we're stepping into is complicated. It's beautiful and broken, full of opportunities and challenges. But here's the thing, we're not just the future, we're the now. And the world needs our energy, creativity, and our hope. And we don't have all the answers yet. No one really does. But if we lead with curiosity, empathy, and courage, we'll find our way. Keep asking questions, keep learning, keep caring, and most importantly, keep showing up as your full, authentic self. And now, as I should begin to wind down my speech and prepare to finish, I need to get something off my chest. Some of you may have figured it out by now, but everything I've said up till now has been completely written by AI. And what I find most ironic about it all is the fact that ChatGPT throughout this speech has encouraged us all to be creative and authentic, but artificial intelligence as a whole is making our world exponentially less creative and more algorithmic. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against AI, but I think it because I don't think that it produces a good final product. In fact, many of you might leave here tonight and enjoy the part of my speech written by AI more than the part written with my original thought. And that's fine. Artificial intelligence is excellent at what it does, and I can confidently say that it's a better speechwriter than me. And it's probably better at algebra than you, or better at writing English essays than you, or knows more about U.S. history than you could learn in your whole lifetime. And that's almost the problem. I can't count how many times I've seen someone type a prompt into ChatGPT, or copy and paste an assignment's question into Google, and wait for its almost instantaneous summarized response from its AI overview. AI is a brilliant invention, and its presence in our everyday lives only increases every single day. But now, as we graduate and fully step out into the world, whether that's straight into the workforce, or into college, or wherever else, we collectively must draw a line in the sand. AI is a beautiful tool when used to help with convenience, but it becomes a danger to us all when we allow it to do our assignments or our research because it robs us of our creativity. And you might be sitting in your chair, looking at your watch, checking the time, or scrolling your phone and thinking, it's not that deep, bro. But if we let AI do the work for us, we don't allow ourselves to make mistakes or put forth our own thoughts or put forth any valuable effort. And AI is most often responsibly used, since most people do use it as an aid and for convenience. But whenever it's not used that way, I think at the core of this problem we can find two causes. It's almost always either because of laziness or the fear of failure. Whenever we use AI, in order to differentiate whether we're using it for convenience or laziness, we need to ask ourselves this question. Am I using this in order to help me or because I want AI to do this for me? As long as the honest answer is to aid and not to answer for us, then we've set a good boundary for ourselves. But what about when we realize we're being lazy and we still just want to take the easy way out? Our laziness can be conquered through willpower and realizing that it is our responsibility to take action for our own success. The only way we will succeed in life is through doing things ourselves, not allowing a computer program to do it for us. Because we all have access to AI. You can make a ChatGPT account at this very moment and immediately start asking questions. But you'll never stand out in this world if you allow AI to do things for you, because everyone can do that. The thing that will set you and I apart in this world is whether we do things authentically to the best of our own capabilities, with a creativity and individuality that even an advanced computer program cannot recreate. But the other cause for overuse of AI is a much deeper and more sensitive subject: failure. I'm not going to stand up here and act like a therapist or act like I've never been afraid of failing a test before. I am a perfectionist, so often the thought of failure can be frightening to me. But I think that in this day and age, we need to reframe what we classify as failure. Failure is not about trying and not doing well. To fail is to not try on your own at all. The inventor of the telephone, Alexander Graham Bell, who failed thousands of times before he ever had a working telephone prototype, once said, "The only difference between success and failure is the ability to take action." Those words have never been truer in today's day and age of AI. We do an injustice to ourselves whenever we let AI do things for us. Of course, AI gets things done quickly and done well, but how will we grow if we never take risks and we never try things we never thought we were capable of? We may not succeed at first, but ultimately, not succeeding is still not failure. Never trying anything outside of your comfort zone or only doing what you already know you're capable of is failure. It's selling yourself short, and you don't allow yourself to flourish into the person you're meant to be. There's a saying along the lines of, what scares you is often what will help you grow. If we avoid what scares us and we push difficult things onto an artificial source, we will never reach our full potential. So as I now actually do prepare to close, I want to reemphasize that I'm not against the use of AI. Artificial intelligence not only is an incredible aid and tool for convenience, it can also make life easier. But as AI becomes more and more commonplace in our society, we run the risk of it taking over our lives. The illustration I can draw to this is a movie almost all of us watched when we were young, the movie WALL-E. And if you've never seen this movie, I do recommend you watch it soon. But in WALL-E, the residents of the Axiom, the luxury cruise ship that all of Earth's former residents live on, have had their lives so incredibly infiltrated with technology that none of them have ever had to do anything for themselves or do anything vaguely worthwhile. They've become side characters in their own lives, but they don't realize it, because they're fine living their life of ease. And I fear that as AI becomes continuously more capable, if we don't realize this and set responsible boundaries, then AI will take away our own capabilities. So as our paths all begin to diverge and our adult lives begin, if you remember nothing else from my speech, I hope you'll remember this. In a world that's becoming increasingly more controlled by algorithms and artificial intelligence, we all must strive to be authentic, take risks, and continue to add creativity to the world, because that's something the world will always need. It's been a privilege to celebrate with you all today. Thank you.